We are live. We're live.
Hello.
Hello. Friday. Happy Friday. How is everybody doing? We are back with episode 29. Big 29. We have got my beautiful co-host with me today, Ron. How are we, Ron? How you doing?
G.
All good?
All good.
We'll
Ready to go.
Well, as a gaming man, we'll get a quick word off you about the whole Sony thing, really quick before we start, just out of curiosity. How you feeling about the whole?
You want it now? I mean, it's going with the times, but it's a pity as a collector. I think it's nice to have the physical copy.
So from 2028, it's no physical copies.
Yeah,
that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, absolutely mad. But in saying that, like for the new Grand Theft Auto, I've re-downloaded it on the PlayStation Network, so I'm not even gonna get it. So just suppose I'm more into the retro stuff anyway. But yeah, it's a pity. Sad
Fair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it. But yeah, I haven't bought a game in a long time, but knowing that there's not going to be physical games or premium boxes or figures and all that kind of stuff with it is a bit sad. Changing the times. Olive, how are we?
Welcome.
Hello, I'm good.
All good?
Full of beans this Friday night.
Full of beans.
Yep.
Olive's from Cork, by the way. Sorry. Still on that.
You found out 15 seconds ago that I'm from Cork and it's blown your mind.
Still on it. Still
everything you thought about me has changed now.
Yeah, I don't know if I reflected the same. No, do you know, I prefer Cork. I like Cork.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of different accents in Ireland. Funny enough. There's only one accent I don't like, and I don't want to say it in case someone in the chat.
Say it. Cancel.
I can't stand loud accents.
I
can't stand loud accents. And you know, people in loud will probably be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's fair."
That's fair, yeah. I was actually mistaken from being from Loud before, which is nice.
I'm so sorry.
Oh dear.
I say that my best friend Robbo lives in. He's not from there, but he lives in Drogheda.
I said that strong.
We'll have a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll do a bit of an intro, and then we'll chat away. We've got Culture's in from earlier. We've got PokeNation there. Aaron is in. Who else? We got Pokestalgia. What's good? Good to see you in. Phantom Pulls is there. We have Migs. Evan is in. Andrew, who I just mentioned, is there as well. Ken is there. What's going on? Keen says top of the evening. What's going on, Keen? Collectormon, what's going on, Collectormon? Ken is there. I just said hello to Ken. Who else have we got? We've got Carl G. How are we all on this Friday? Ken, this is not a box break. This is an episode of the podcast.
Oh, dude. We could open stuff, but
he did say in the next message he's a bit of drunk, so we'll forgive Ken on that one. Have a good Friday.
Dragon Frontiers there.
Yeah, they're gone. Thank God.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, thank God. I hadn't for too long.
Who else we got? Bran was good to see you in. Andrew says this podcast episode is long overdue. I agree. Pokestar just raging about the Sony thing. That's fair. Phantom Pulse says you don't have a Cork accent, Olive.
I don't. I moved to the UK when I was 18 for university, and then when I came back, my family had actually moved to Wexford. So I go back to Cork to visit friends and extended family, but I'm rarely back there. So I'm 28 now, so 10 years of it being bullied out of me. So it's just neutralized a lot. So, and I'm engaged to an Englishman, so that hasn't helped, obviously, unfortunately. He's trying to cure it. He's trying to get his passport. That'll be next year, but you know.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Let's go Mexico.
Yeah. It's gonna be a rough house here on Monday night or Monday morning, rather. God.
Okay, we've got Gary is in. We've got Carla and Andrew giving out to me about the Drogheda slander. Sorry, worst accent in the country. Fitz is there. What's going on, Fitz? All right, we'll do a bit of a quick intro, and then we'll get chatting to the chat as always. We love having you guys in. I'll take whatever questions we can through the episode, but of course we'll give you time at the end. So if I miss your question, come back at the end, and we'll get it over to Oliver. Whoever it's for. We are at episode 29, Beyond the PAX podcast. We are joined by one of the biggest vendors in the country. One of the biggest vendors in the country, owner of the latest, brand new, delicious TCG accessory brand, Covrd. Social media, what was the word you asked me to use? social media Pokemon
Icon,
TCG icon guru, wasn't it?
Oh, oh God. Ugh.
We are joined by the wonderful Olive, aka PokeOlive, of PokeOlive and Covrd. It's the best I can do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wish you'd ran through that intro with me so I could have vetoed all of that.
I made them up on the spot, so I don't know what it's going to be.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's your fault for asking me not to say things like that. You get me the feels. So.
Yeah. I was like, please God, you're like one of the biggest offenders. I was like, please, absolutely not. But like, it's not even a cringe thing. It's like that's just not true. So it's just an aversion. I think it's an Irish thing, isn't it? To just be like, no. But yeah. Thank you for having me. It's this is overdue. I'm well aware. When did you ask me first? It was a long while ago. I was like, you're gonna have to wait. I was like, yeah, it was a while. I was like, let's revisit. And yeah, happy to be on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very welcome.
Definitely delighted to have you on. I think it was towards December, because I remember you had like just a string of like show after event after pop up, and it was
rough. Yeah, we made the mistake of we were trying every event last year, and we kind of we did quiet. Was it September? I think it was September was fairly quiet, and then we saw all these shows popping up, and we also were at this point pretty deep into Covrd planning, which I'll kind of get to in a while. But we were like, we need to do as many shows as possible for one reason, raising capital for Covrd, and two, we were like, let's just try it all. And it was like we're glad we did it, but it like working Monday to Friday on our other stuff that we do, and then every weekend was just like, there was also every evening we were just pricing cards. It wasn't fun. So yeah, glad we did it, but never ever again, ever.
Completely burn out, like.
Oh yeah, and like I really am someone who, again, I know we'll get to it as you're asking questions, but I need a really good balance of this and everything else in my life. My life this isn't my whole life, if that makes sense. Like I sometimes go into that phase with things, but I burn out pretty easily. So it was grand. It was, glad that we did it, but yeah, wouldn't do it again. Yeah. Just the back-to-back.
And then you had me coming in like, hey, you want to come on the podcast?
And I wanted to, but I was like, I have I can't call out of a show. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So I was like, you would have been getting me at like 15%, if that. So I said, let's just wait until I'm a human again.
Do you know, I'm kind of glad.
It only took 9 months, and I'm human again-ish, so.
But I'm glad, because now we have the whole Covrd side of things that we can discuss as well. So
true, yeah.
It worked out well. Mm-hmm. Before we start talking about the whole PokeOlive journey, thoughts on the 30th anniversary?
I've seen that apparently a lot of the allocations for even like stores that are kind of at the bottom of the pecking order, there's different kind of levels that stores are assigned. I've seen that apparently the allocations are really good. So the set looks mental, obviously, but I'm hoping that it will, obviously everything will sell out, we know that, but hopefully at least there'll be so much product in the market that the secondary market won't be just silly, which obviously we're all expecting it will be. But I think the set looks great. We're just all hoping, obviously, that you'll be able to get some, if you're walking into a shop an hour after it's launched, you're not like begging for a pack of Lorcana that was from a set no one wants, sort of situation.
It's all we can ask for is that.
Yeah, which is sad. So sad. It's such a sad situation. But yeah,
into oblivion, like.
Yeah.
I did see that post about the print run being pretty strong. Also, just on a side note, Olive, you asked me I forgot to mention, there is a small chance that Olive's internet may dip a little bit now and then, but I think it'll only be for a couple of seconds at a time if it happens. I'm
on the phone, so I can just toggle on to the 5G if needed. But yeah, we should be grand. We should be fine. But yeah.
I think it looks absolutely stunning. I think it looks like such a beautiful set. All the the covers of the ETBs, the EPCs all look unbelievable. They need what?
The Need Arena is class.
The Need Arena promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, there's so many in the background. It's really cool.
So nice.
Yeah. Very
so
cool.
Nice. I am annoyed that they're doing the whole 2 UPCs in November, along with a regular set coming out at the time. Because that was painful last year. That was painful last year. We had the Moltres UPC, the Mega Charizard UPC, and then was it Phantasmal?
That Moltres one that only showed up in Smith's in January, wasn't it? Or something like that. Something silly.
Yeah, didn't the systems go down or something?
So it was, well, the pre-orders were taken in, was it October or November? And then it was supposed to be ready. Oh, it was maybe, it was basically like 2 or 3 months before they were ready for collection, which is just crazy. But yeah, mad stuff.
Well, then I kind of hope then it does the same thing with the UPCs, because I don't fancy buying 2 UPCs and
That's
whatever
fair.
the new set's going to be in November. That's going to be
along
with, as you literally mentioned last year, the amount of shows as well that we're all going to be going to. It's not going to be fun.
What are we looking for, the Umbreon or the Espeon in UPC? Which are we preferring? Obviously Umbreon, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I like evolutions, but they don't fully do it for me. So in that case, probably the Umbreon. Like if I'm not fussed, if I'm not too fussed by either of them, then yeah.
Although we went live on Wednesday and I pulled up some pictures and zoomed in. The playmat for the Espeon, I think, looked unbelievable. I actually
haven't seen
prefer
it,
the playmat.
actually.
It's really nice. But yeah, it's September is the start of the
September.
ETBs, isn't it? So we've got Pitch Black later this month, Break August, and then it's literally
Break August, God. Yeah, it's every 2 months, like just full on, and then obviously stuff keeps getting delayed. So sometimes it's not even 2 months; it's like 4 weeks between sets. Yeah, crazy. And I've seen some discussions recently about people saying, "Oh, why don't they just stop printing stuff or stop releasing new sets?" But the primary thing, obviously, that Pokemon is supposed to be is a TCG game, and if new sets don't come out, then the game gets stale and people will move on. So they'll never stop making new sets. It's just the only thing that can be done is for the printing to catch up. So yeah,
that's true. What do you think actually of kind of the way they're doing the Japanese sets and how it's kind of converting to the English? So for a while they were doing, it was 2 Japanese sets equaled 1 English set.
Yeah.
But now it's just 1 Japanese set, and now we're seeing smaller English sets.
I think it's good, but we were very kind of up to date with what was going on the Japanese side when we were getting a lot of Japanese product in last year, but now we don't really as much. So, I think again, I haven't really noticed too much of a difference personally, but yeah, doesn't seem too bad. Oh, he's gone. We're boring him. He's back.
Playing with the lighting.
See what they did with the tins. With the unknown spelling out anniversary and all the stickers.
No.
So the tins that are coming out.
Mini tins.
The normal, the mini tins. You get a card in them, and I think all the cards match together.
Yeah.
It spells out anniversary.
Oh, really?
In the unknown symbol.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh.
All right. What? You there?
I thought you pulled that up from underneath the desk. Is that?
What, this?
Yeah.
No.
I wasn't. I just looked back at you, and you just had a drink in your hand as well.
I've got a full dispenser under here, like a full
Cool.
mini pub under the desk. No. It's
Lovely.
All right, let's jump in a bit. Olive, could you kindly give us a bit of your history, your Pokemon history, before we all knew PokeOlive? Like, were you a collector? Did you always collect? Yada yada.
So I actually didn't collect until 2021, toward the beginning of 2021, and Ollie collected. My fiance, he collected as a child. But I obviously knew Pokemon. I played the games, but collecting didn't start until 2020, just because I didn't have money, to be honest. And yeah, like I obviously, you don't need money to collect, but that was also a time where it was hard to get product. So, yeah, kind of obviously, was introduced to adult money, and like we've always been very into gaming, kind of nerdy things, whatever. So I don't know how we stumbled upon it, but for me, when I get into something, I get very into it. So, very into it. So we basically, we kind of went ham in 2021, and we just were ripping a lot, as everyone does when they begin. No one really gets into it to just start collecting like sealed product. I mean, some people do, but the kind of, I suppose, the love for Pokemon collecting comes from the initial ripping and getting the cards you want and whatever. So yeah, we were doing that a lot. We kind of dipped out of it then in 2023. just because I found something else that I was into. Like that's kind of a pattern that repeats itself quite a lot for me. And basically, yeah, it was 2024. We got back into it again. So just before everything kind of kicked off again, we had obviously a fairly large collection from when we were collecting 2021, 2022. Stuff was easy enough to get in 2024 as well. And then we obviously Prismatic happened, and that was just that. But we had been chatting in 2024 about potentially vending, because I personally, I didn't mind attending card shows, but I was always just kind of there saying I'd actually prefer to just be on the other side of the table, to be honest. Like I go to a card show and I actually could only last like half an hour if I was attending as a buyer. I don't know why. I just my attention span isn't the best. So I was there, and we went to the Dublin Card Show then in 2025. So literally last year, and it was when we were there. Again, I lasted half an hour, and I was like, we should just do this as well. I was like, we've been talking about it for a while, and then literally at the Dublin Card Show, we chatted the next day, and then I was like, I'm probably just going to start putting some stuff together, and we'll just see what happens. But it wasn't like there wasn't like a business plan. Obviously, it was just like let's throw our hand at a few things and see what happens. But that's kind of pre PokeOlive, basically. I also regret, by the way, calling the business PokeOlive. Yeah, because my name is Olive, so people are like, oh yeah, and I don't, but it's just, I just find it, I wish I'd slightly separated myself from it, I don't mind, people knowing it's me, but that's kind of that.
For the longest time, because Olive isn't the most common name in our generation, I wasn't sure if your name actually was.
Yeah, people ask me a lot. They're like, is it Olive? They're like, what's your name? I'm like,
it's Olive.
Those green things, yeah.
That's actually mad that you guys were just collecting and just decided, yep, we're just going to vend. Because I don't know, if it felt like maybe it was just the way you started to kind of announce yourselves on the scene. I felt like it was like, oh, who's this PokeOlive person? What's this? And then just boom, oh my god, these guys have thousands of big cards. Where did they come from? But you just had a big collection. That was it.
It was big. Like it's nowhere. Like our collection now is silly compared to what it was obviously this time, whenever, like last year, April or so. So it was like it was big enough for us to be able to get started.
Yeah.
And we the first event we did was the Cork Card Show. And like we had, we were talking about what we brought down to the Cork Card Show, the first one, and it was just like fractions of what we have now. So it was big enough to get started. But again, that's the whole thing, is you don't need a big collection to start vending. But yeah, for some reason we were like, I just wanted to just give it a go and just see. But yeah, there wasn't really a huge plan there. We just kind of gave it a go. And you're kind of saying we just kind of appeared. Like for me, if I'm putting my face and name to something, I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. That makes sense. And like there's no again, right is relative to each person. So for me doing it right was making sure that if I'm putting my face and name to something, I'm posting on social media. I'm there's a brand sort of there. And yeah, so and obviously it's. We've done a good few card shows. People seem happy enough with us. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Well, it's always been very easy to deal with, and always been so professional. Like it was always going to happen for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It just felt like you were like, I don't know if it's just me, but from the get go, you're just like, oh, this well established vendor. That's just
so professional. Right,
I don't know what it was. Do you have a business background though, or you?
Yeah, my background's marketing, and then we actually have another company, which is like a social listening company where we basically analyze what people are saying about other brands and companies online, and then we tell companies what people think about it. Kind of like consumer insights, but specifically online. So I kind of, when it comes to the marketing side, as I've mentioned, bad attention span. It's because I have ADHD. I'm sure everyone's figured that out by now. Diagnosed ADHD, not just me throwing words around. But basically, like when it comes to videos, for example, and marketing, kind of, if I'm filming a video and posting it, I will watch a video back that I've done, I've edited, and I'll say, if I didn't know who I was, or but I was in the TCG space, would I bother to watch this? Obviously, like someone who's into cars is never going to watch it, so you can't think that sort of mindset. But that's kind of, the kind of way we kind of went about things initially anyway, to try and make sure that, again, it wasn't the case of like we needed loads of eyes on us, but I was like, if I'm putting myself on social media, I want to make sure that the stuff I'm putting up is like watchable and that sort of stuff, But yeah, I have 100 video for everything I post. I have 100 things that I haven't posted because I'm like, God, this is boring. Yeah.
I was going to ask about that, and actually, I think someone in the question came in with with a similar question. When you were, as you said, you felt like you had to do it in a way that you felt was right. How big of a deal did you feel that social media was, and having a social media presence before you kicked off? Like, do you think that was a?
Do you mean like my background, like just in terms of understanding?
No,
it?
like just having like the PokeOlive presence, the PokeOlive Instagram, the PokeOlive TikTok.
Before we've ended.
Yeah.
Well, I posted about a week before we've ended for the first time, so yeah, it's been important, very important. Like I think especially now, like there's so many, like it's a very accessible thing to vend. It's not like this, I don't know why people gatekeep it. Like it's this holy grail, thing that you have to be really like, no, anyone can just do this,
Yeah.
But I think I'm very aware of that, and I think because of that, if there's 100 other people that essentially are selling the same stuff as you, because like I'm not selling anything different than person next to me, you just have to make sure you're a nice person. And again, if you then want to have people maybe come over to your table, you probably want to put yourself out there as someone who people see and go, oh, I know them, they seem, or there's a bit of like social presence there, so they seem trustworthy. Am I trustworthy? Nobody knows, but
so far so good.
Yeah.
If anybody's been scammed by PokeOlive, please come into the channel.
Yeah, please do. Please make a Reddit thread. I would love that.
And then you had a website.
Yep.
I'm going to use the word because that's the first time I made any kind of purchase from you, was when you had the website.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that part of the plan with the vending? Was that like a second thought, or how did they kind of tie
that was
together?
Again me kind of going with the let's do this right sort of situation,
Okay.
So if we're going to vend, I'm going to make sure that I'm putting myself out there to some degree so people know who we are, and also then having an established website with decent prices and product up there helps again build that sort of brand credibility. And the website, so we launched it, I think it was just after we vended for the first time, and it was easier in a way because it's obviously autonomous technically. You just sitting on your couch and you're like, a sale happens, but it's not. it's obviously not autonomous at all, because we'd have days where there'd be like 15, 20 sales if there was a product that went up that people wanted. And genuinely, because we were doing all the fulfillment ourselves, it was like half of my day, which I have to do other work, was just spent packaging stuff. And like the margins on this stuff was just stupid. Like it was like I think we were netting like 5% or something, which like it was just and I know people getting down to numbers, maybe people don't really care, but like that's just stupid in my opinion anyway. And the website was like supposed to be kind of an easy, like when we're not doing shows, we can still have stuff that's coming in and we can pop it up. But I was very like, would never have put my name and sold something that's like brand new and that we're charging over retail, obviously. So the product we were kind of getting, we were just kind of at the mercy of whatever we could get from secondary distributors that wasn't extortionate. And that just kept dwindling, because secondary distributors just kept putting up their pricing because they knew they could. So yeah, it was supposed to be like we were doing, everything right sort of thing. We had this kind of build some credibility. And yeah, it just kind of ended up that it was like October time, and we knew we had this run of shows coming up. And I was like, why would we have the website active when we could just bring all the stuff we have in the website to shows, which we would always do anyway. And there's no fees, Shopify fees, which are not tiny. There's a few, there's a good few percent there. There's nothing that can go wrong with shipping. Like, people know what they're buying in person, So we kind of had a thing where we would temporarily shut it off, and then once it was off, I was like, here. This just I'm just like I'm a real business head, so like from a business perspective, it just didn't make sense. And I'm a business head, but also like I think I'm fair. So I was like, if I was a real, just let's just make as much money, it would have stayed up, and we would have been like, selling stuff at extortionate prices. But I just can't put my name on that stuff. So it became that we had really slim pickings, and it just wasn't worth it, basically. Like, for us anyway, personally.
Yeah, I think I remember you actually did a video, which again comes back to how it is, importance of putting yourself out there, letting people who know who you are, what you're about. You did a video, I think, Instagram or TikTok, where you actually spoke about the getting products from the secondary market, and I think you actually went into detail. I think it was like Black Bolt, White Flare, and you spoke about what you would be getting it at, and then what you would have to sell it at.
Yeah, I think it was like 80 or 90 quid. Like, and that's without VAT. So obviously we're VAT registered.
That's what you were going to buy it at.
Yeah, like without VAT.
Yeah.
So I was like as a brand new set, we were having to buy it at like, let's say €90, excluding VAT. So if we're talking about VAT, then added on like probably 130, and then with the shipping, because it's free shipping over, like we would have been, if we'd bought that, we'd have to sell it at 130 and make a $5. Hello. Anyway, sorry, but that's again, like it works for some people because they do volume, right? Sure. But it just didn't appeal to me at all. Once we realized that like the primary distribution route was just never going to happen. Like, I think Asmodee are opening up applications. I said towards one of the Asmodees is towards the end of the year, but that will be for like people that had applications in even before the boom. Do you know what I mean? I just so we got other things we're doing. We're but the website, no. I don't enjoy selling Pokemon online personally on a website. I much prefer in person. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, I got access to secondary distribution myself there recently, and I was like, that was pointless. I'm not going to buy any of that and try and do anything with it. The prices are outrageous.
No, it's silly. Outrageous. And I say secondary, like it's more just like a shop giving people access to products, excluding VAT if you're VAT registered, and like at a tiny little discount. That's it's not as exciting as obviously it kind of sounds, but yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, it's mental. But yeah, so then you came in, as you said. Was it like, I feel like it was close to Team Rocket time, because I think that's the first thing I bought off you. So maybe April last year.
I remember those stupid boxes. They were €250 each.
I bought one.
You did. Like, again, we were making like a $5 on them. That's so stupid. God, thank God I'm out of that. Yeah. But like that was a good price as well at the time, which is so silly to say. Like, some of them it was 300 or something crazy. But yeah, that was it was around then. But it was basically whatever time the core card show was last year, which was April. That was essentially our first exposure to the dabble into the world.
Did you think, because obviously as we acknowledge the boom kind of kicked off, which with Prismatic, which was that January, did that have any kind of effect? Were you guys like, oh, this is a great time to do it, or it's a bad time to do it, or did that kind of any effect on it?
I think because we knew, like, obviously we were dabbling with sealed initially. And when I say sealed, again, from secondary distributors and just stuff we had bought from 2021. We had like 40 Evolving Skies booster boxes that we bought. I know they're half booster boxes still, but still. So we had a lot of sealed basically to kind of help us get into it all, But I think we always kind of knew, like, it didn't really matter if product was going to be hard to get our hands on, because we knew that the singles was kind of where we knew we kind of wanted to go. But we used to have, like, our first core card show, I think most of the table was sealed, and then we had a small thing of singles. So yeah, I think in hindsight it's like maybe we thought it would be more balanced, kind of sealed and singles. But yeah, basically the boom more kind of determined that the singles route was the route we were going to have to go if we wanted to do this, more so than us kind of being driven to it. Yeah,
actually on that then, talking about sealed and vending. So I don't know if you probably know Danny, Antrim Card Club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I haven't met him, but yeah, no.
Danny just announced that going forward, the Antrim Card Club, you cannot sell sealed if
Saw
it's
that.
within like the last, I think it's just 2-3 months now. I know some shows in the States are doing like, if it's still in print, but I think he's doing like 2 months. What's your thoughts on that, considering, you know, what you were looking at prices at secondary distribution, even people just picking it up at retail? What's your thoughts on that?
It's good. Like we don't buy any sealed now from, again, any secondary distribution. The only seal we buy is from Japanese suppliers still, seldomly, and then people just selling us stuff like the personal collection.
Yeah.
We would we never ever, like, this is so funny, on release day, just the flood of messages saying, I've got a prismatic ETB, like on, prismatic launcher. I've got an Ascended Heroes ETB. What would you? And I'm like, go away. No, like, no.
Really?
So, oh yeah, God, yeah, like never. So like we only buy stuff off people if we can kind of determine that it's clearly been a personal item that they've held. I mean, whether other people call that an investment or not, that doesn't really matter. But once it's like, again, already a few months after something has been released, because I'm not selling something that's just been released. Like, I would know. But it's kind of different when it comes to reprints. Like Destined Rivals was just re-released recently, and we had a lot of messages. There was a lot of people trying to sell us stuff, and we were kind of like, we know people are just buying it and trying to shift it onto us. But we took, I think, 2 off people, 2 booster boxes, but that was still weird because I knew people were just going into shops, and do you know what I mean? But it's just, I fully agree with it, basically, is what I'm saying. And because, like, again, me personally, I'm not selling stuff that I know has just been released, like, at all. I'm not buying stuff off people that I know has just been released, because then it just fuels the fire in there.
Sure.
So yeah, I think it's good. I think more shows should do it. I think obviously there's the, argument for, like, people just can't get products, so like if they can get it on the secondary market, why wouldn't, but I think if someone's organizing a show, they can do what they want, and I think that's a fairly fair rule. So
I love it. I think it's a great idea, because I'm aware of people that go straight into Smiths, take it from Smiths, maybe get their buddy to buy one, and next day they're vending, and it's right there on the shelf behind them. But then you have to consider people that are taking advantage of secondary distribution, so they're not scalping per se, they're just getting it at the secondary market or wholesaler, B2B, and they're looking to sell it at a show. I know they can't, so it does hurt some people, but
I get it. I think it's just that, like, the people buying it don't understand that, and that was the whole reason why we stopped a lot of the website stuff, like the sealed. Is like, I could explain to people, the reason, again, we'll take the Black Bolt White Flare ETB as an example. I could explain, well, I'm having to buy it at this price, so if I'm selling it at this price, I'm only making this. But like, it doesn't really matter if we're having to sell it at an extortionate price. That's just the way I view it. But again, like I always say to people, like, people can sell whatever they want. They can ask for whatever price they want. It doesn't bother me. Like, people do that. Like, I'm in the scene, obviously, but like, I don't really care what people do once it's not obviously mental and insane. But I just think, making buyers aware, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just help them kind of make informed decisions. But yeah, people can do whatever they want. But for me personally, I'm aware that consumers are, and people, that are coming to our table, like, they won't really care if I explain kind of where something has come from and what it costs me if the sticker on the product is extortionate.
Yeah.
So singles are the safe bet, really.
I think so. I think for us, like, it just kind of, again, it ended up that way, and like, we haven't sought out and bought a collection since we started this. Like, we just get people selling collections to us every week, so we're very lucky in that way. So like, it's, again, like, I'm potentially speaking from a privileged point of view where the stock just kind of comes to us, so that's, like, for us, it's just been the way. And I think as well, like, for singles, it's like, people know the price. People, even if it's a brand new set, where again, people want to stay away from sealed, people understand that, like, the chase card costs a certain amount. Like, there's no kind of issue with the psychology around that for people who are in the hobby. People outside the hobby think it's mental. Obviously, we all understand that. But yeah, I just think yeah, like for us, the singles just was the way to go. Again, it's just
Are you still
just yeah.
selling? Are you still selling kind of the modern packs themselves? No,
Not really. We do Japanese, like the Japanese packs, because we can get them at a reasonable price. But like again, I just have an aversion to. Like we had some Surging Sparks. We bought a booster box off someone. It was like 2 months ago. I can't remember. We had Surging Sparks at one of the most recent events, and they were, I think they were like €8 or €9 we had them at, because that's what it made sense. Like I think we bought them in at like, let's say $7.50 a pack for the booster box. So even then I was like shuddering. I was like, ew. Just because I don't know, I'm thinking about me as a buyer as well. Like I always think about like the way I was as a buyer and the way I am as a buyer. And I just kind of, even though I understand again things are at market, I just think the sealed, I think because I'm aware people are buying packs to then obviously rip and potentially pull something. I think it's just like the gambling aspect as well. I'm like, I'd rather have the cheap packs, the Japanese packs that are cheap. People can, roll the dice with €3 or €4. I have no, kind of problem with that. But I think just, the sealed stuff, the modern stuff, if I'm having to charge like silly money for certain packs, that I just, yeah. The singles is like you know what you're getting. So the singles in person, especially because obviously we mainly just sell them in person now. You know what you're getting. You know what the price should be because there's a public website multiple websites you can check, and there's just no issues. Just
and
happy life.
It'll hold or grow in value, like.
Yeah.
So everyone's a winner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pity that's kind of the stage we're at, and I see actually shout out to. Phantom Pulls, he says, even with the 30th anniversary releasing around all those shows, he thinks the rules should be introduced. Definitely with the 30th coming up. I mean, if you're saying you get DMs off people that are getting ascended DTBs and whatever else, I can only imagine what kind of DMs you're going to get with these UPCs and stuff. So, I do like the rule. I do like it.
Yeah, I think, and like for us, like Ollie and I, we collect singles obviously, but we do keep like one of each seal product. So like we get our one of each seal product, and then we're good. And if we happen to get an extra at retail, we'll open it. But we don't even really open that much. We just buy singles, just because our luck. I think once we started vending, we got the vendor curse. So we pull nothing, which is fair enough. But yeah, we kind of get our 1 or 2 bits, and then again, if people are trying to sell stuff to us, they're like, no. no.
I like that because I mean, I'm sure there's like maybe not a temptation, but a little. Oh, here's a chance to get such and such. But I can't imagine they're even going to offer it to you close to retail or close to what they got it to. So
no, and like obviously, if we are buying stuff off people. Like, I know this is the controversial vendor thing, but I'm not paying 100% of what the market is, obviously. I will try to... We're very fair with our prices, and we are aware of that. But I'm not paying... Like, if we have our 2 seal products that we know we'll keep and maybe 1 extra to open, and then someone is trying to sell me something, I'm like, well, I'm not buying it off you, obviously, at the market price, which is probably triple because it's going to be a crazy set. So you're also not going to be happy with the offer I'm going to give you, and also I don't even want to buy it off you because what am I going to do with it?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I want to bring in the topic of pop-ups because I feel like this is something that has popped up a lot over the last while. I feel like, again, I'm not like trying to say, PokeOlive is the best thing ever. But I feel like I only learned about pop-ups when you started doing pop-ups. I feel like now it's a whole trend.
I did not create pop-ups, guys.
I know you didn't.
Please don't. You're just spreading a narrative. I can't believe you just revolutionized the entire industry.
But no, I genuinely never heard of pop-ups until...
We were at the Core Card Show again last year, and we were like, we kind of like this, And then... I have a lot of ideas. So I get a lot of ideas, and then I look at them all when I'm not in an idea headspace, because when I'm in an idea fit headspace, everything sounds amazing. So I had an idea for a pop up, like just doing kind of our own mini sort of card show, or like heading, heading somewhere where it was just us sort of thing. So there's no kind of pressure to bring anyone else in. And we had a look at it. And we were like, this could be good. We were like, the Dublin card show or the Cork card show was good, but like there's a lot of people in Dublin, and there's not really any events on until, what was the next one at that point? I think it was Emerald, and it was May. Like it was May 2025. Emerald was on in October 2025. So I was like, people are bored. I know they are, and I know people like Pokemon. So I had a look around, and I landed on, for some reason, the Blackrock Market. I don't know why. Like I don't live in Blackrock or anything, but I think it was accessible enough for us to get to. And I contacted them and I said, if we were to potentially get a stand with you for this day, what would it be? It was cheapest chips. They said that they'd put us in like a covered alley, which is great, obviously. And then we signed up, and then we started promoting it, and I put up a video on TikTok saying going to be doing a pop-up shop, and I think it got like 70k views or something. And like I've never ever put money behind any TikToks ever. The Instagram posts for the pop-ups, like the static images that we have, we put spend behind that. So usually like 20, 30 quid just to get, a little bit more visibility. But the TikToks, I've never ever put spend behind it. So anything there is just organic. TikTok is incredible. Like TikTok is the best way to market, I think. And yeah, I put up a video. I was like to Ollie, I was like, oh God. I was like, and I then had to kind of go, there's a lot of people, like obviously there was a lot of people going, can't wait to go, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of had to go, I was like, I don't know, like if the space we're in is going to be suitable. But I also like didn't know how many people were just saying they would go. And then, it was we'd know. So I got back onto the woman I was liaising with, and I was like, I didn't know how to say this without sounding like, by the way, we've just gone viral. But I was just like, hey, like we put up a video. There's been a bit of traction. So I went down and I viewed the space we were going to be in, and I kind of was like, it's a bit tight, just from like less than like we've got loads of stuff, but it's just tight from like a fire hazard kind of perspective. And she was like, oh, you'll be fine. Like I've given you, and I was like, okay. I didn't kind of spell it out that I think it was going to be mental, but I was like, trying to say it in a very humbly Irish way that I think it was going to be busy. And we went there on the day. We set up. We had one table against the wall in this kind of covered walkway, and there was a queue of like 50 people before this place had even opened. And it was just Ollie and I with like one 6-foot table and then one shelf. And the woman came down, she was like, this is a fire hazard. I was like, yes, yes, it is. So they had to move us from the car. It was luckily a nice day, but also, not for other reasons. They had to move us to the back of the market. We had this huge open space to ourselves, but it was the beating sun. I had I had 2 Umbreons from Prismatic just in the beating sun the whole day. In a top loader, in a like thingy, but in a notice board kind of lock. But like it was not ideal for the poor cards, and we were in the beating sun. I had no water, no food from like 10 a.m. to like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., like nothing. People were waiting for 2 hours to just come to our like little 6-foot table with like actually just crud, minus the 2 Umbreons, and it was just like, it was so stupid. But I was like, at the end of the day, Ollie and I were like, okay, right, something like there's clearly people are desperate for events, and I kind of just, I'm someone who I have a lot of ideas, and I if I executed them all, people would think I'm mental, but I just try to, look at which ones I think could be good. And then, this was one that we just went with. And then we were like, okay, we need to do this now in a more professional environment, because I was burnt that day as well. I was burnt to a crisp. Ollie was lovely and tanned because of his sallow skin, but I was very burnt. So we said we'd bring it indoors next time. So again, there's like Poke Bundles, Tony and Anna, they've been doing pop-ups for ages, but I think like when it comes to the the Dublin scene. I think there must have been stuff before we were doing stuff, I'm sure, but I think maybe just the wording pop-ups maybe stuck or something. But I definitely we didn't create this notion of just popping up, you know. So
Well, I don't know if you kicked it on, but I feel like there's pop-ups everywhere now.
there's a lot, which is great to see. Like we did a good few, like we did loads of pop-ups in Board and Brew then last year. I'm sure, I don't know if anyone who's watching ever went, but like we were in the basement of Board and Brewed.
Yeah, there's
Like
people in the
it
chat
was,
are like, "Yep, Board and Brood, Board and
oh
Brood."
really?
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. But people would have to queue outside, and then they'd have to queue downstairs as well. Like it was a very kind of, we had a system. Like we you know we had a good system, but like the space that they gave us, like we're like I'm very close with the owner of Board and Brood. Like we're down there every week, sort of thing. But like the space was still obviously tight, you know. But yeah, I just can't fathom that people would queue, and the stuff we do now. Like I can't fathom that people queue to see our cards and buy cards from us, because I wouldn't. That's one of the things where I'm like, would I do this or would I enjoy this video? I'm like, I wouldn't enjoy. I don't think I would enjoy queuing for a pop up. So the fact that people do just is mental. But yeah, we did loads in Board and Brood. The owner he contacted us after the Blackrock Market one, and he was like, "Do you want to come down?" And we got on great. And he was like, "Yeah, the space is yours if you want it." So we were there like once a month on a Saturday all of last year, and then we did our last one there in January. And yeah, we just kind of were like, the space is as functional as it has been. It just like it obviously wasn't the best experience for people queuing. People were queuing for like an hour and a half, and you know, yeah, I just was kind of like, I know, again, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that I'd have to do it so that people are comfortable doing it. But I was like, we at least want something a bit more, you know, that, you know, like people aren't losing their minds and just in the rain or sun having to queue.
Are you doing them somewhere different now?
Yes, we're doing them in a hall in Stillorgan. So we've got a big hall. It's like a community hall. They're great. The person who runs it is brilliant. It's just such an easy, like, it's just very easy now. And like we do them. We have one on Sunday, 2 days time, and we're doing them kind of once a month. It just depends on the shows that are on, but it's the reason we're doing them once a month is because of how easy it is. If it was like a card show where like there's time that gets ran by someone else, there's kind of times you have to be there and blah 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 blah, and it's kind of, you know, you're having to find parking in the city or you're having to travel. That wouldn't be the case, but it's such an easy, just kind of just do the prep in advance, kind of roll down, and it's just brilliant. Like we do them obviously with the guys at PW who are like some of our closest friends now. They're our actual good friends. And then we did them at PokePair as well, who we're close with as well. And then we have some guest vendors kind of coming, but we can't really, if anyone's attended the pop-ups, even in the hall we do it in, like the space is still tight, even though it's a big hall, because now rather than, again, people having to queue outside, people are queuing inside. So kind of the middle of the hall is just full of people. So it's a great space, but it's not one that we're not going to be expanding to like having a card show in there. It will just probably be the max 3 or 4 vendors at a time.
And how many people do you have on your table now with this show?
As in, we're like behind the PokeOlive or two. We stupidly had 4 last time, and then I had to actually recruit someone 10 minutes in. You know Jess, Smelly Grogu? Yeah. I was like, "Are you busy for the day?" She was like, "This is all I had to do." I was like, "Do you want a paid job for the day?" And she was like, "Yeah." So, we 5 or 6 usually, and it still can feel stretched pretty thin. And like, unfortunately, I'm a terrible employer, but like, there's no breaks, obviously, because there's no time to have a break. Obviously, if someone needs to go to the loo, they can go to the loo, but there's not like a scheduled lunch, as anyone who's, you know, has vended at a card show knows. There's none of that. You know, it's just mental all day. So the pop-up, I like, again, from our experience, the pop-ups we find actually busier than card shows, because obviously at card shows there's, you know, so many vendors. There's other options and whatever. Pop-ups, obviously, we have, I think the amount of tables we have more there is usually like 10 tables. So we have stock. We have a lot of stock, obviously. Like the stock isn't a problem. It's just obviously, you know, having to queue, and it's kind of crazy.
What way would the queue, like, have you done one in Stillorgan yet?
We've like 4 or 5 now. Yeah,
Okay.
4 or 5. Yeah.
So when the queues are now kind of down to half hour.
Sometimes like a bit up. I know it's but like it's
wild.
it's like, again, I can't understand it, but like, and I'm just so grateful. It's just crazy, like,
People
but
are happy to do it, like.
yeah, it's just like, and we would like to, if the space was bigger, we would have more people there, but it's just like we know the volume of people that are coming in, and like people seem happy enough with the setup for now anyway, so we're kind of just, we're sticking with the hall. It's very easy for us, and like that's the kind of whole thing, is like, if it was if it was like a card show kind of we're organizing, then yeah, I think it would just become something we probably do less frequently. But it's just, yeah, and like people seem fine with it, like people I know, like, I'm sure no one's going to be like, I was very happy to queue for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, but I think people know it's a free event. Like, at a card show, you're paying to go in, because, to have the experience of not having queues to go to tables, to, have all the selection. So I think because it's a free event, like, no one has to buy anything, obviously. And yeah, see, people seem happy enough, I think. Happier than the spaces we were in before anyway, for sure.
Yeah, I suppose with you usually give a preview of kind of some of the stock you have before them. It's probably very good as well, because that's going to make people queue if they know they're going to get what they want. Yeah,
that's usually what we like. That was, again, a thing where I was like, if there's cards that we're selling that people want, people will come down. So we do it, like, I do it a bit less now. I think because people know the events, and they either want to come or they don't, sort of thing, And I still kind of do it, but I think it's less of a draw now than people just knowing that it's an event that they can buy a lot of cards at. They know us as vendors, they know PW, they know PokePair. So that was kind of something I would have done previously to, kind of get people down from like a marketing perspective. But now, like, we're very grateful that we could probably not do much promotion, and we know that there'd be a few people show up still, which is amazing.
Well, I can see there's a lot of people in the chat that are going on Sunday, and I'm very excited.
Oh, cool. Oh God, people. It's Dylan. I love the clarification on toilet breaks being allowed. Yes. I do tell people, because people are always asking to help us too, and like we can't usually just ask our friends, because I genuinely feel bad otherwise. I'm like, if you're my friend, obviously yes, I also feel bad, but people we don't really know are like, if you ever need a hand, I'm like it's mental, and like, again, there's not any break really scheduled in. It's just kind of like we're at it for 5-6 hours, and like it does fly, like it really flies. But yeah, it's not an ideal. I'm not going to win Employer of the Year, let's just say, from like a breaks perspective. Yeah.
So essentially, you became a vendor to avoid queuing.
Kind of, in a way, I suppose. Yeah. That sounds kind of maybe dodgy or something, but yeah. Life hack, just vend, yeah. But no, like I get very like, again, I get ideas in my head, and it was just, again, one of those things I was like, oh, maybe, and then I think it's just it was after another card show, I was like, I kind of just want to be on the other side of the table, and yeah, that was that.
No, I think it's great, and I think it's great to see, as you said, so many pop-ups starting to appear. Or even like the likes of Danny's Card Club in Antrim, because there was a while, 2022, 23, even 24, where there was kind of one or two big shows throughout the year, and you're just waiting. You're like, okay, I've got 6 months to save, and if I can't make that one, I got to wait another 6 months, 8 months. But now with the increase in shows, all these pop-ups that's coming up, I'm a big fan of the whole thing. It means you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go, what you want to do. You could probably within a month be at some kind of show or pop-up somewhere. And I think some people are kind of almost complaining that there's too much, but I think choice is great. I think there's not a monopoly on anything now, whereas there kind of was before, so that and I think that choice is great. It means that people can, like, if you're in the Midlands, there's loads of card shows in the Midlands now that, like, you're not having to travel to Dublin or Cork or whatever. You can stay close to home, and choice is good. So again, when loads of pop-ups started kind of happen, I had actually people ask us, like, they'd be like, other people are doing pop-ups. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's great. Like, choice is good, and like, I'm like, again,
there's no, yeah, as you say, like I like people doing things, and I like, I think that more like I like we were never doing the pop-ups to be like, this is our thing.
Yeah.
If anyone copies me, I'm going to freak out. I was, it was kind of like I could see that they were working, and I'm like, the more that this happens, the better buying experience people will have, So, yeah, there's no gatekeeping.
Do you prefer the pop-ups to the shows?
Yes, I do. It's just very, yeah. I think it's just because we have it down to like a well-oiled
Yeah.
like machine now, and like again, we're the ones running it, and obviously, if it's a card show that I was running, that would be different, because that would be like stress of the card, like of running the card show, and then also, just the logistics side and whatever. So, whereas with the pop-up, it's like there's not really any stress now, because we just know what to expect, and again, the venues it's just so easy. So yeah, definitely prefer them.
Yeah. Can I ask, just because you said you're always full of ideas, was there ever a card show idea?
Yeah, but yeah, sorry, there was. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. It's still comes in and out, but I just think that there's so many people doing them well now that
Yeah.
I feel like I like to kind of like, usually if I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it well and stick to it. And like it would just be something that would kind of take over, I think. And there's just no need for me to do one. Like, other people are doing them well, so there's just no need, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's maybe switch gear and go to the other business. Just before we do, I'm just looking at some of my notes I have here. On the PokeOlive website, it does say big things are coming 2026.
That was covered.
No, okay, I just wanted to check
So,
that.
yeah, I actually need to have, like, we still obviously have the domain and everything. So I'm actually going to redirect the domain to go to Covrd.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That is our segue. Segue is the right word, isn't it? Yeah.
Hoverboard.
That was our yes. We are on. Let's talk about Covrd. I don't know if a lot of people expected that from you, but you've been working on that for
a year.
Yeah, that was a lot in the background. Can you give us a bit of a walkthrough where the idea came from, like the whole planning behind it? Like, was that another crazy idea you thought maybe not?
That was actually an idea I dreamt of. I actually dream of a lot of my business ideas. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of mad. And the name I also dreamt of as well. Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah. Like literally the way it's spelled and covered. Yeah, kind of. I think I must be half conscious. Hopefully that, my conscious brain isn't that bad that only my unconscious brain. But yeah, anyway, yeah, kind of funny. So, obviously had the idea, and spoke to Ollie, and we have a very, like, my background's marketing. Like, we have another business. We're pretty, kind of corporate. We have a corporate kind of, I suppose, brain to the two of us, and like very commercially kind of coded. So like we love the Pokemon stuff, and we love it because we've now figured out a way that we can do it and we enjoy it. There was a lot of, to be honest, second half of last year we didn't really enjoy it at all, and we were doing it because it made sense. Like, the events were crazy, like it made sense to do, but we didn't actually enjoy it as like a hobby, to be honest. And now we do, again, because we just do the pop-ups. We do a few shows that we want to do, but we are not doing everything at all. And we like switch off from Pokemon a few days a week. Like, genuinely, I just don't even think about it. However, we were kind of like, okay, so there's clearly like, it was this time last year probably, and we were like, the side of Pokemon that we don't like is kind of how it's, which I know a lot of people love, is, I suppose it's very, how do I describe this without, we wanted to do something a bit more commercial and a bit kind of more very businessy mindset, you know what I mean? And again, we have a lot of experience with the other business we run. Like, we got funding for that, and we kind of have gone through Enterprise Ireland schemes and whatever. So we understood different aspects of business. So we were kind of more looking for something to potentially segue into with the audience we built up and with the kind of knowledge we had. We were like, what can we do? And that's kind of why we were looking at the website initially. And again, we didn't really enjoy that, and it wasn't really financially, it wasn't viable. And basically, yeah, we just kind of were like, accessories obviously are being done. Like there's new accessory companies every day. Like it's not revolutionary. However, I was just kind of like, I think there's a lot of companies out there, but I think there's few that are the kind of brands that you think of and that are like the the brands out there. And we just we started looking into it. We essentially landed on, I think we could do this and do it in a way that hopefully at some point down the line we're rivaling the big companies. And we basically just put together a business plan, like 1, 2, 3, 5-year plan, and figured out what capital we needed to get things going. And then we just started hounding suppliers. And yeah, it's been like, we spent I think I mentioned to you, Dean, but like we went through like 15 suppliers because we just weren't happy with loads of them. And like whether it was like their communication was slightly slow. I say that as someone who takes 5 days to reply to messages. Sorry, but just we were very picky. The product, like just something not being right, and we didn't fully know exactly what sort of build we wanted for the binders when we were starting Covrd. But I know, like, I'm someone who, if I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, I'll know when I see it. If that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, we went through loads, and we basically found the supplier that we went with, and it was just like all of everything we were looking for in one. So yeah, we again got loads of samples from them. We were like grilling them a lot. We obviously were like, this is what we want, can you do this? Like, what's just loads of different things. And we learned a lot about supply chain. I'm still learning a lot about supply chain, which is boring, but it's very important. And yeah, like we didn't think it would be a year before we launched, but like we worked with packaging designers, web designers, like just like a few consultants, and again, obviously went through every supplier probably on the other side of the world to try and find the guys that we found. So yeah, we basically knew we kind of had a nice community and audience, and we basically kind of just were like, even if the brand doesn't kind of grow beyond the initial sort of like people are buying stuff just to support us stage, which is a very real stage that a lot of businesses end up in, we know that it'd be something that we would like to kind of give a go to. But we've been very serious about this from the get-go. It hasn't, like, it's kind of, I suppose, for a lot of people looking at it, it's probably still, they see it as like a side project, but like for me now, the business is covered, and PokeOlive stuff is just like a very side thing. Yeah, this is where our head is at.
I see.
Those are up quality. And where did getting the pages so flat? How did that come about? Like, what was it?
There was
at that stage?
We kind of, again, I it was kind of a thing where, as I said, I didn't know what I was looking for initially, but I'd know when I'd see it.
Yeah,
but that was something that we didn't see, and then I was actually just thinking, I was like, it's so annoying that they all just kind of sit like this, So that was something that we thought of, and yeah, we wanted to make sure that that was a part and a feature of every binder that we bring out. And then obviously the color match pages was just something I was like I can't, like, I mean, I can, but I was like, I don't really want to launch something that doesn't have like a bit of a USP, and again, there's nothing wrong with a business that is like, most businesses are essentially just doing what other businesses are doing. They're just trying to market themselves in a different way, or like, you don't have to innovate or to start a business. You just have to start and then figure it out from there. But I kind of wanted something that I knew wasn't really out there in mass anyway, and that we could have as our company. This is what you're always going to be buying from us, which is, again, the build opens flat, the colors, the pages will be the same color as the binder, and that the quality will be good. So yeah,
there's just a lot of positive words in the chat. I'm not going to pull them all up, but you're doing well. I'm going to point out my probably my favorite one. And don't get me, I'm not knocking the binders, but I'm in love with the top loaders.
The top loaders.
Love the top loaders.
Ollie's in love with the sleeves. My fiance, he is these sleeves. He's obsessed with the sleeves. Like I was just kind of like, this isn't. I mean, it's great that he loves the sleeves, but I was like, the binders should be the coolest thing, and he's like, no, it's the sleeves. So just because they're basically like they're a tiny bit thicker than other companies, like a tiny, but like not thicker where like it's like you're like, what is going on here? Like this is, you know what I mean? It's just like there are a couple of microns thicker, so that it just feels more premium. So yeah, he was very excited over them. Way too excited.
There.
Like a lot of people would be too. Like the premium feel in a sleeve. A lot of people love that. Like so.
Yeah.
No, they are.
If you're building a premium brand, it's premium everything. So I can see it.
Yeah, they are genuine. Like if anybody hasn't felt one of the sleeves, they're like, it's not like an ETB sleeve. It's like the slightest bit thicker than a regular penny sleeve.
Penny sleeve.
It's I love them. They're great. They're great, and the extra, the exact fits. I always, for one of my like top cards, I'll always use the exact fit on the card upside down, and then put it the right way up and put it in a regular fit sleeve, so it's double locked in. So I'm glad you did the exact fit sleeves. I was happy with that as well. What I love as well is I think that yourself and look, there's other, as you said, accessory brands popping up. Some good stuff out there as well. I think it's great for the Irish Pokemon space in general. I think, I've been saying this for the last 2-3 years, but we're obviously still very far behind, like the US, for example, and even a bit behind the UK. There's been so many places that we can get creative. For example, no one had a podcast. And for a while I was like, someone needs to start a podcast. And I was like, hey, hang on a sec. A little podcast.
You could just do that. You could just do that.
Exactly. But same with like an accessory brand. 2 years ago, because I don't know when other people might have started popping up, but you really had the 1, 2, 3 big names that just everybody globally knows. So I think it does a lot for the Irish space when companies like yourself are starting to do what you're doing. On that, are you seeing much interest from outside of Ireland?
Oh, our main market is the UK. Actually,
really?
Like we were supposed to launch Covrd only in Ireland and then offer shipping to the EU, like mainland EU, but like we don't fulfill anything ourselves. We have a warehouse that do it for us.
Sure.
That was something that was very important from the get-go. I was like, I am not packaging this stuff up. And like the amount of we thousands of units were coming in for our first shipment, so that's only going to grow, so I was like, we can't do it ourselves. So yeah, that was important from the get-go, but the mainland EU shipping, like, it's not cheap, like, at all. And like on the website right now, it's DHL, so it's very quick. So like if someone, let's say, like we had someone in Germany order, what day is today? It was Wednesday, like midday, and it arrived to her on Thursday morning.
Wow.
Like, so it can be literally less than a day. It can be 2 or 3 days, whatever. But so the shipping option it's very efficient, but it's on the website. It's like $19.99, and we're actually still taking a hit because of obviously fulfillment fees that you have on top of then delivery costs. So we were basically always going to launch in Ireland and then offer shipping to the EU, but not really push it, if that makes sense. Just kind of have it there as an option. When we did the kind of pre-launch marketing campaign, which was essentially just posts before we launched, TikTok just kind of went a bit mad, and it was UK girlies. The UK girlies were like, I need this immediately. And I was like, we're not set up to ship there. So we literally ran to get our UK VAT number, because there's so many logistical things you have to kind of sort when you're shipping, obviously, into the EU now, or it's into the UK because of Brexit.
Sure.
We had to chat to people about just all these different tax things, and we managed to get it set up in time. But it's still like the UK shipping right now is £11.99, and it's taking about a week, just over a week, to get to people. And like, people are aware of that. Anyone ordering that are in the UK, they're seeing us from our Instagram or mainly our TikTok. And I have literally explained this was not supposed to happen. Like, you guys wanted this, so we've made it happen, but it's not where we would like it to be. You know, we would love to be offering you next day shipping $4.99, but that's not happening right now. So, but we've had no complaints. People are just like, thank you for sorting this in time. And yeah, most of our sale, like, we have a huge amount going to the UK. And Ireland is obviously like a huge market for us as well already. But like the UK, we've actually just been in talks with UK fulfillment centers this week, and that's going to be happening in the next like 2 months. So we will have a center there so that we can offer the people those, you know, very cheap, much cheaper shipping rates and literally 24-hour, 48-hour delivery, because it's important.
Wow, that's unreal.
That's
unreal.
Yeah,
It was
it's
only
kinda
going
mad.
to go that way. It'll be America next.
Oh, that is actually down the line. Like, that is something that, like, we've there's so many issues with the States because of, obviously, our products are manufactured in China. So you're talking like, I don't even want to say the percentage markup that would have to. It's crazy. So yeah, that is actually down the line. So I can actually say that. But yeah, the UK wasn't supposed to happen for a while, but just the demand was just silly, really. So it would have been stupid not to try and fast track it.
And what about Europe in general? Much interest?
Yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of shipments going there. It's, you know, but it's just like, personally, I wouldn't be paying €19.99 shipping for one binder unless I'm like, this is the binder I need. And we have a lot of people paying that, but we will have a lot more once we have, again, an EU mainland fulfillment center, and we're offering €7.99, €6.99 shipping, free over €60 like we are for Ireland, you know. So yeah, it's kind of mad. Like, we only launched at 29th of May. And yeah, we've only been in business for a month technically, even though it has been a year since stuff has been happening. And it's just kind of mad. Like, just, yeah, we were away in Spain last week, and it was really nice break, but obviously, like, it's very apparent that this I'll never really get a break kind of indefinitely now. You know, obviously, until we have a good few people on the team, and that, you know, you can kind of switch off. But it's just there's a lot happening basically, and it's amazing. But yeah, we have obviously we got wholesale applications on the website, and we have a list of genuinely like 25 businesses that we haven't approved, because we don't want it to be where the website sells out completely because we've just given away all of our product to shops. Do you know what I mean? So we're having to kind of very slowly get through that. And like, I've done no promotion for any wholesale at all. It's just people finding it. And like, even from the actual sales perspective, like, the only thing money we put behind anything was we put like, I think it was only €100 behind a post in the last 2 weeks, two posts that we had on the Instagram, and that's the only marketing spend we've had really. So it's just all been, yeah, we're trying to keep costs down right now, obviously, and then yeah, we have, obviously, again, as I mentioned, we have a proper business plan that's kind of going to have to be pushed forward a bit, I think, because yeah, stuff's happening faster than we thought.
And do you hope, because I think I saw someone post already that one of their local stores had your binders in stock. Is that something that you're looking at in the UK as well, or is that a little bit further?
We're actually in a couple of shops already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we one's in Plymouth. I think they're in Plymouth, and then one is in Exeter, so they're actually pretty close to each other. Yeah, we approved them on like a test basis, because again, when it comes to the tax side and everything, and like import VAT, it can get a bit complex. So we've approved them. We're kind of sorting them out, and then I think when it comes to the UK wholesale side, we're going to have to just be really trickle them in until we get the kind of mainland fulfillment center, because yeah, it's expensive for them. Like, and obviously these businesses are aware there will be import VAT, which you can claim back because they're all VAT registered, but it's obviously still less ideal than if they could just buy straight from a center that is on the mainland, and it's with them in 24 hours, and yeah, there's no VAT.
Fair. And so is it fair to say then that it's doing better than you expected it would do?
Yes, we had like a lot of different scenarios kind of laid out.
Okay.
And this was one of them, but it was one of the ones we kind of thought was less likely. So I think it's like we didn't expect it to be, let's say, at the level it's at with like essentially like no marketing spend. And just like we know the product's good. Obviously, I was never, that's not something, I'm obviously, when you say biggest vendor in Ireland, I shudder because I'm like, well, I'm not, but also like I don't like it. But I'm very happy and proud of the products we put out. So that was never something I'm kind of, I'm not going to cringe about that because I know the product's good. But in terms of the business, it's basically at a stage where only after a month that we didn't, we thought this would be a bit down the line, and
Fair. But I did say one of the biggest vendors in Ireland. I didn't say the biggest. I was very careful.
That's fine. Now I've made myself look like an idiot.
That's because you think that.
I still disagree, by the way. Just to make that clear.
No, but yeah, listen.
It's interesting to see now what it's going to be like in a year's time. I can't wait. Like, hopefully we'll get you back on again some stage. I'd love to see what it's going to be like next year.
Yeah, I think like we know we'll have I'd say 2 hires by the end of the year. That's going to have to happen. Because there's only 2 of us, and again, there's other stuff that we do as well. So, we're gonna we're going for investment at the moment. Just to basically fast track everything that we thought would be further down the line. So yeah, we're bootstrapped on for now, but you never know.
That's not an invite for people to put their CV in the chat, by the way. I don't want to see.
It's an invite for you to put your investment. If you'd like to invest, that'd be great. No, we have stuff that we're we people we're talking to, but it's it's great. Like but again, this is like kind of what we like. We like the Pokemon community and we like the scene. But I think the vending has just made sense for us.
Yeah.
But we knew very early on it wasn't our calling within this, if that makes sense. Like, we knew that like we would prefer something a bit more commercial, and kind of something that we could like. And you can bring vending beyond Ireland, obviously, but it just wasn't our calling, sort of thing. So we kind of really looked at what we know we'd enjoy, and this is it. Boring corporate business. Yeah.
Listen, I've already given you my feedback before, but I genuinely love the products. I love the binders. Everything it's class. It's class. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Big fan. I'm going to take a little question here from Shane, just because it's kind of relative. Sorry if this was covered already, but I remember seeing your very first TikTok about starting a Pokemon business. My impression was that it would be a shop in Ireland. Is that a goal, or was that ever a goal?
There was a goal. Well, it was a goal we thought potentially I was thinking of the pipeline of, you start vending, we were doing the website, and this is potentially what this would lead to again, because I kind of have what can you do now to get to where you want to get to, and I said all this before we did anything. And then we started vending, and I was like, I can't do this. No, God. So again, I could do the vending once a month, and we actually enjoy it once a month. It's not even a thing of like, I can do it, fine. But a shop, oh God, no. No. And again, as I said, we enjoy what we're doing, but this is not it's not the love of my life, the Pokemon vending. So I think a shop where I would be so protective over it, and I know I wouldn't even be able to go on holiday and relax. Do you know what I mean? Because you'd have to physically be there, and no, there are so many other people that are I know other people personally that are flirting with that idea of a shop. So there's loads of other people that think that or that are thinking of the idea of a shop. So yeah, it will not be us. If for some reason you see that I've opened a shop, something has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong. Yeah, no, not anymore. But yeah, we thought it would be something we'd like, but yeah, but then we actually got into it. And no.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I can't see why anybody would start a shop in this. Don't get me wrong, the likes of the Elite Four training grade guys, they done something ridiculous and made it work. But to me, that just sounds like a nightmare, especially with all the break-ins there's been over the last while.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't think of anything worse than the stress of running a shop. If it was back, 2020, 2021, 22, when stock was easy flowing and no one was scalping and all that kind of stuff, maybe. But right now,
no. I think a lot of people would like. There are people who like that idea. So I think it's just there's a lot of people that do. You said the same thing that I would say, which is that I just no, like absolutely not. But there are a lot of people who would have the opposite, where they're like, this sounds great. This is where I want to go, and I think that's great. But it's just it's no, not for us. And I think there will be more shops pop up in Ireland. To be honest, I think
so.
there's I think so. Like again, there's a huge market for Pokemon. Like there's so many events. There's people want in person cards that they can buy. People are sick of buying online, card market, all this. So there's like, if someone has the time, the money, and the want and will, there is like a shop would not do badly. But again, you have to be prepared, and obviously there's your security system's going to have to be silly, silly expensive probably, and you're just going to have to be there day in day out. Like there's probably no days off. So yeah.
Then on to well, actually, I see Shane popped in a second, like a part 2 to that. How do you feel looking back on that post when you thought you were going to start a shop at some point?
Silly girl. I think it's not like, again, I did that post like obviously to to be honest, that post was to kind of introduce people to us.
Sure.
Kind of like a personable, we're going to be doing this. This is, you can see that there's a real person behind this. So yeah, like obviously everything I said in the video was the truth. This is the pipeline that we thought, but it was less of like this is what is definitely going to be happening. This is what potentially the pipeline could be. But yeah, it was just funny. Like it wasn't even like now that I've realized that we didn't want to shop. It was like a month into vending. I was like, God, I couldn't do this. But again, we liked the vending and the amount we were doing it at that time, not at the end of last year. That was too much. But yeah, it was just I was thinking about doing this every day. I was like, no. So if I just waited to post that video by like a week, I could have admitted that part out.
How do Covrd and PokeOlive tie together then? I mean, obviously, like, you bring your Covrd stuff to your pop-ups and stuff, but is one going to overshadow the other? Might we see the end of one? Will they live side by side? How does that look?
Like, I don't think I'll ever do. I'm retiring, by the way. Like, I will never do that. Yeah. Like from the PokeOlive side is what I'm saying. Like, Covrd is a business that will be there for a long time. The PokeOlive side, like, we might take hiatuses. We might just not vend. Like, but it won't be this dramatic. You won't believe who's leaving the Irish scene, because one, I personally would cringe if I posted that myself.
The biggest vendor to have ever walked
on this planet. No, but so we'll definitely be tapering stuff back like next year. Like right now, there's a reason why. Like the reason why we're vending again is the pop-ups especially is that it's very easy, and it still makes sense. However, a lot of the reason why we're still active is because there's like a kind of a customer almost funnel, where like people know me, they trust me. So like me being tied to Covrd and people knowing that I own Covrd, there's a benefit to that. Sure. And like I never really wanted to do talking videos on the Covrd page, but because you have to find the balance, especially when you're kind of commercializing something, of coming across like it's almost too small of a business. And like with Covrd, with PokeOlive, it's grand because obviously people would expect to see me at my table. Like the small business side is important to people, but when it comes to Covrd, I didn't really want that. Like you have to again strike a balance of people wanting to buy from you because they know me and they trust me, but also you have to think long term and the professionalism side, But I think what we kind of realized was I know I am professional, even though I'm a human and blah blah blah. But I know I am professional. But I think there's not really as much of a downside to me being I'm making videos for Covrd in my flat or the warehouse or wherever for this industry specifically, because I think people expect TCG businesses to it's a bit more kind of personable than, let's say, kind of nondescript, non-face, like there's no face of like a jewelry brand. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we kind of had a chat about it and just kind of had to figure out what the best thing to do was. But it wasn't supposed to be as linked as it is. But I think it just makes sense. Like I'm happy just getting in front. I say happy. I don't love the filming side. Like I'm usually just like, oh, but once it's done, but it's more of like it makes sense to do, and I don't think it's harming the brand sort of thing. So yeah, and like anytime I do a video for Covrd and it's me talking, like it does well, but I think that's just more because people listen to people talk more than so yeah. Basically what I'm saying is there's a reason why, like there is a bit of a like it's benefiting us, PokeOlive, being active, if that makes sense. Yeah, for now.
Keeping that kind of reputation going, keeping that credibility going.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like it's like I think a faceless brand that no one knows popping up. Like if I had just not said it was me that owned it, like again, I'm sure it would have done grand, but it just made sense. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
I think it'll continue that way down the line.
What'd you say?
Do you think it'll continue that way down the line? You'll keep.
I think
like you probably won't need that.
I like, yeah, well, like we'll see. I like there's founder-led content does very well. Like there's a lot of founder-led, very successful brands. So I'll kind of just basically gauge what people are liking. Like I take in and I kind of analyze, which videos do well and why. So if for some reason down the line people are like, get your face off my screen, then great for me. Less videos to film, but it just makes sense. And again, people like it's just the brand sort of just like brand awareness and yeah.
What I'm gonna ask two, like, what does the future look like type of questions, but short term Covrd future. We're going to see other colored binders, right? That's not news. You've talked about that. We're seeing new colors, right?
Green.
I'm not saying any colors. I'm just saying that there are more colors. Yeah.
As long as it's a decimal rival color, we're all good. We've nothing to complain about. Many colors. Do you think at one point we could see a whole scale of colors?
Oh yeah. It's a money thing. Like it's less than like but it like at the stage we're at, we have to figure out what is the best kind of avenue to go down. Is it like sticking with a certain size and expanding? And like I say all this, and it's not as simple as just ordering or placing an order for different colors because of the pages. The pages is where I'm not going to go into it obviously too much, but there is a lot more money involved, and that goes into this because of the pages. Like that's so we have to be very strategic about where basically we reinvest in what we already have, or do we look at different sizes, different colors? But it's basically it's not as simple as just expanding the range like immediately. And obviously these things take time. Like everything that we do is obviously like a several month lead time on anything. Some like we're already looking at stuff for like early next year. That might not even be early next year. It'll probably be this time next year. So yeah, it's just with a product business where you're having to like fund stuff months and months and months in advance before anything comes to light. It's just trying to figure all that out. So there's stuff coming, but it's just not as it's not as simple as us just snapping our fingers and waving a wand. Yeah, I wish it was, but yeah. But stuff is coming.
Can you hint at anything? Just to give the people that showed up to the podcast a little teaser.
We will probably Covrd are sponsoring 2 card shows this year. One of them has been announced, which is the Irish card market.
Yeah.
we will more than likely there will be a a binder available there that won't be available to the majority of Covrd, aka like online and in person at any other event. So like it will be essentially not unreleased for another 2 months. There'll be a product available there to buy, more than likely that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's me kind of selling the Irish card market there. But yeah, we're trying to make sure that the in-person stuff that we do, like the sponsored card shows, there's a reason, you know, there's kind of an exciting thing there for people that would come over to us. Yeah, so that's all I'll say.
Cool.
But it'll be a color. A lot of people have been asking for this color of product. So
Okay. There's some,
Yes,
I've
that's all
seen
I'll say.
some oohs in the chat.
ooh.
We love a little teaser.
Yeah, sorry,
teaser.
I was very, you know, again, I didn't give any information away other than there's probably going to be that available at that. But again, I didn't give any size or color. So yeah,
Amazing.
TBC.
It was enough. It was enough.
We'll take it.
Was I lying?
Yeah, we'll show up. Just be the same stuff we've already got.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be come over to Covrd at the Irish card market, going, well, where is it? I'm gonna go.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
At least you're here.
Buy singles. Buy singles.
Yeah.
What then does... So obviously, you know, you mentioned that Covrd is going to be... It's here for the long haul. And you pretty much said the same thing with the PokeOlive side of things. Is that still... Any signs of that stopping anytime soon? Or do you have big plans for PokeOlive? Or is that just... It's fine the way it is?
PokeOlive PokeOlive can... If tomorrow... I had like, well, it's sorry.
You don't like vending at all. Do you?
No, I do. I like the amount we're doing it. But again, as I've said, it's not my calling.
Sure.
Like, you know, so it's just if for some reason there was a gun to my head and they said this gun will go off or you have to stop vending, I would go, okay, looks like I won't be vending.
Fair.
Whereas with Covrd, I'd put up a fight. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, it's like we don't have big plans. We will just, I think with the vending, because you know we like it the way we're doing it. I think like we don't have plans to like vend like internationally at all. No, like that's just not. And like even like traveling far for shows now, like we're very selective about the shows that we have to travel for, because it just like because we reprice everything before a card show. So like our prep takes about 2 or 3 days because we reprice everything, and we're talking like thousands of cards. So it's a lot of prep, and then if you have to travel, you know, then you have to stay over somewhere. It's not even that events business wise have to be worth it. Like that's not even the case. It's just it has to be worth our time, just because
Sure.
we value our time a lot outside of this as well. And yeah, the plan for PokeOlive is to just keep doing the pop-ups that we're doing, do the card shows that we're happy to do, and that we know won't be too much of a pain to kind of get to or whatever, and then we'll just keep seeing how it goes. But there's no like PokeOlive innovation that's going to be happening. The business is covered, and PokeOlive is just kind of the thing we're doing still. But yeah,
The little baby sister on the side.
yes. I thought you meant my baby sister was in the chat. I was like, why is she here? She would not be watching this.
Didn't even know you had a sister.
I do. I say she wouldn't watch this because she has no idea about Pokemon. She just
Fair.
she is.
We might then at that point, if people want to start, I know I missed a couple of questions. If people want to maybe start throwing in their questions, feel free to start throwing them in. I'm going to start off with a question that's for me. And I've asked this with pretty much anyone who's been a vendor that's been on the podcast. Obviously, I will be vending for the first time at Irish Card Market. So we'll be vending buddies.
Woo!
Give me like 2 tips for my first vend. What have you got for me? Just, it doesn't have to be so I walk out going, that was the best thing ever. Just 2 tips to help me survive, not make a show of myself. What have you got?
Like, I think with vending, again, if you like, you want to have an enjoyable. I think I actually said this to you privately as well. I was like, just make sure you enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just kind of go ham with it. So I think I think bring enough stock where you don't have to reprice stuff that you're buying in, cards that you're buying in throughout the day. We don't put any cards out that we buy in during a show or pop up. Anything that you see out is stuff we've pre-priced. Also, it's very handy for keeping track of your stock levels. You like if you're recording, obviously what you're bringing with you, and then you start putting out cards that you've traded in out as well. It just gets very muddy. So that's something I would actually say. Actually, that's not bad advice.
That's actually something I had thought about a couple of times, and I was meaning to ask.
I mean,
if
you don't, and if you are like, if you will need to restock from the stuff you've been taking in for trades, just photograph what you're putting out, so that if you know, just even for your books, that you kind of have that. That's kind of a boring bit of advice, but yeah, I would say that's important though. Also, it's kind of fun looking through the trade tub at the end of the night. That's Ollie's favorite thing. We come back from a pop-up or an event, and I'm just on the sofa like, just dead. Just I've been yapping all day, and then he's just at this table that I'm at, just looking through the stuff, going, "This is cool. This is cool." So, yeah, it's kind of fun. And then he said one other bit of advice. Are you going with anyone, or is it just yourself?
I have a buddy jumping on the table with me.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, bring a buddy so you can go to the toilet. There you go.
Fair enough. I think everybody has given me that bit of advice. Like, don't do it on your own.
Yeah. And it's just, it helps. It helps, you know. But it's also just fun having someone there. And I don't like you know it. Like, you've been on the other side of the table loads, so and you know, like you know loads of vendors, so you're gonna know what to expect. But I'm not going to say just be nice to everyone, because you know that's just common sense. But yeah, you'll be grand.
In terms of like stock volume, like, I mean, you're at the point now where you said that, you know, stock isn't too much of an issue because of people DMing you all the time. But like, I'm just constantly just building up stock. Like, is there a point where I can overbuild, or am I better off just being overprepared with stock? Yeah,
just over. Like, I think the too much is when you're financially like, I don't know if I should be buying this in, like, you know. But if you're able to, like, as much as you can, and like what I would say is, like, if you're one other tip that is more applicable to card shows is like, binders are obviously great because it's like the lower value cards, but we have had, like most card shows we go to now, if our table's busy, we just take all the binders in because they just clog everything up. So I would say, like, be very aggressive with the amount of cards you put in top loaders. And like, we have cards for Sunday. We have binders, but like, we're talking their cards like €1 to €5 max, and then anything that's €5 and above we have in a top loader. And that might sound like overkill, but it just really can clog stuff up. So that's also a good way to not run out of stock really quickly, because if stuff is in a top loader or in like a case, people, you know, it takes more time for stuff to kind of shift. So I would say, when it comes to stock levels, just God, I go on such spiels, don't I? Jeez. I go on such spiels, but as much as you can, and then, like, because if you under prepare with the amount of stock you bring, then what will happen is on the day you might be tempted to take stuff in that you shouldn't really be taking in, just because you're like, I need extra stock, you know, like, I'm already running out. So yeah, and like, if anything doesn't sell, you have it for the next event. Do you know what I mean?
You actually touched on something that I have been thinking about as well, because one of my pet peeves when I'm at a table is when there's 2 or 3 people hovering at the binders. And it's not even that I want to get to the binder, it's just like, just move.
Yeah.
Could you do a show without having a binder out, or even keeping the binder till the end?
We have done that quite a bit. With at Board and Brood, we usually wouldn't have had it out because the queue, like, again, it'd be inside and then out the building and around. So like, I was just like, I can't have you, like, because like people take and like, it's trying to find a balance of like, some people attend events just for binder cards, but I think when I explain, like, we have loads of cards like in this display case that's like 5 to 15, like most people are fine about it, but I think you just have to kind of make an executive decision when you're on the day. And if it's just like, there's just no room for people to get to your display cases because of binder world, then take it away. It feels what's really sad is that sometimes when you have them out and then you realize this was not a good decision, and you just have to not snatch it out of someone's hands, but when someone is finished looking through, the next person that's been waiting, I go, sorry, buddy. And
Yeah.
it's really sad because obviously some people, specifically are there just for binder cards, but it just sometimes it just is a bad experience for everyone at the table. Like,
Fair.
if it's just taking 15 minutes per person, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Obviously people are entitled to look at binders, but sometimes I'm at the table, I'm like, please just get off the binder for a minute. Just okay, we'll take a couple of questions. I see questions coming in there. We have Pokébran. As a content creator, have you any tips on how to grow traction on videos? You mentioned you analyze what videos do well. What do you look for?
Is Bran calling me a content creator? Because I'm rejecting that as well.
You create content, like it's
okay. I think I don't know if you were here at the beginning, Bran, when I was saying how like I consume a lot of videos on social media, and my attention span is not great. So like I basically, I don't know, like, and obviously everyone's brain works differently, but I have the brain where I can look at a video I've created and I go, if I didn't know who I was, like, I'm not saying like you'll watch my videos because you know me, but in terms of like, if someone didn't want to watch my videos because they want to support me, would they be bothered to watch what I've just put out, if that makes sense? So I think that's kind of the best advice I can kind of give, because that's just what I apply. Is like, if a random person that is interested in Pokemon TCG has come across my video, will they be bothered to potentially watch it? And like, obviously, most people in the TCG space still won't be bothered to watch it, but you just have to kind of have that kind of mindset. And I think as well, you don't have to have a hook, but something that, the first 5 seconds have to be interesting. If it's the last 15 seconds of a video that's interesting, but like the first 30 to 45 seconds isn't, then you're kind of cooked. Do you know what I mean? Because no one's gonna. So yeah, that's kind of my advice. And again, I say that and I'm aware that everyone's brains and how they consume content is different. But that's just kind of how I create content. Is I watch stuff back and go, would I be bothered to watch this if I wasn't just going to support me because I want to support me, and if I didn't know who I was. So
fair. No, it makes sense. I don't know if I've ever looked at my stuff and then tried to see it as, if I'm watching this as someone else.
And I think that's kind of like I'm saying this from like a very, because when we were starting out, like, I wasn't creating the content because I wanted to create the content. I was creating the content because I'm like, I know we want to vend, and I want people to know who I am so that they trust us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's less of a, like, the main thing that if you're a content creator and you want to just create content, you just want to be creating stuff that you love. That's the primary thing. Obviously, for me, it was less. That's why I was kind of like, I don't even think I see myself as a content creator, because I'm not really creating it from like the love and the passion for it. I'm like, this kind of makes sense for me to be posting videos.
It's marketing in a way, just for
yeah. And again, that sounds, but like, that's just kind of the way my brain works. Yeah.
It makes sense. Like, you wouldn't be creating content if it wasn't for marketing.
I wouldn't be. If we weren't vending and we didn't have Covrd, I would not be a Pokemon content creator. I would probably, I posted some personal videos on TikTok. I'd probably just be doing that sort of stuff, just like personal vids and stuff. But yeah,
fair. It's maybe something I should do in my own videos, is look back at them. I never watch anything I do. I've never watched a single thing.
No, but again, if you love the content you're posting, then and you enjoy it, like, that, then it doesn't matter. Like, as I'm saying, and like that's like what I'm saying is only applicable to someone specifically asking me, like, in terms of what I'm putting out, what video how should I be getting more people in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that, like, that's the only time I would give that answer is if someone's specifically asking that. If that makes sense. Yeah.
I just quick shout out to Conrad. That's why I keep my face out of the first 5 seconds.
Oh God. Brana said he was saying from him being a content creator. Thank God, because I was like, I do not see myself as a content creator. So thank God. I thought Bran was calling me a content creator. Me getting
technically speaking, Olive. Technically speaking.
Okay. Anyways.
We'll bring up Phantom
Moving
Pulse. Not sure if it can be answered, but from a business perspective, is it difficult to secure investment, and what level of investment would make a big difference to Covrd for the short and long term? I don't know if that's something you want to answer.
I can answer a very surface level. Yeah, I can give a very surface level answer. We again, without going into specifics, we have another business, and we basically know a lot of people within like a lot of the kind of enterprise schemes within Ireland. So like it's obviously difficult with from like to get actual investment. You have to have a viable business that people can see is the investment makes sense to them and for them, because the business will grow a lot faster basically, and like their money that they would be giving you, they can see how there would be a return there. So like in terms of getting people to say yes, obviously that is how you get people to say yes, is having a business plan and having a viable business behind you already that people can see money going into it makes sense. In terms of actually, I think also like getting in front of people in Ireland, you just kind of have to know the kind of right people and companies. But Ireland is one of the best places to start a business actually. Like there's loads of schemes. There's like a lot of. It's also very small, obviously. So like once you kind of are in that space, everyone's very helpful. But yeah, that's a very kind of surface level answer. But basically, if you're specifically talking about is it easy to get business investment, it is just you just need to have a viable business, show that you're competent, and yeah, make sure you're picking the right people to come on board. So
fair. We have Shane here who says, Dino knows my usual question. I do. What can customers do better for vendors? So the usual answer is know your prices when you come up to the table. But do you have any other suggestions for a customer coming up to your table? He's also grateful for the journey together. Articuno Ior, you got from you at the Dublin Card Show.
Oh, very cool. Lovely card, isn't it?
Beautiful.
I think it's very underrated still, which is great, because if it's not underrated, it means it's a silly price. I don't think customers need to do. I don't think that there's anything that needs to be on that has to be on the customers to. No, I think that customers should be able to go up to people that they are purchasing something from with their money, and once someone is a nice person, I don't care how little information they know about anything. I don't think there should be anything on the customers, to be honest. Obviously, queue etiquette is great when because the queues at the pop-ups that we do, it's not like the queues aren't managed by us. It's just kind of like a self-formed queue by people. Like we can't really have a queue attendant. So the only thing is just making sure people are respecting that. But apart from that, there shouldn't be anything that I don't think it should be on the customers. It should be on the people selling your cards.
Even on the opposite, so if a customer comes to you and says, hey, do you want to buy these off me? Can I sell these to you? Do you not think they should have an idea of what they're looking for? It should be all on the vendor? Really?
I think so. I think like it can help the customer and it can help the vendor.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, it's getting better, but like the prices that people will have on their cards a lot of the time is like eBay still like price charting. So like I'll always double check. So yes, it can be helpful if like let's say someone comes with a stack and they're like I did card market. I can check 10 of them, 10 kind of do a random sample, see they're all pretty accurate, and then I go, I trust the rest of your prices. That's great, right. But that's not on the customer. Like that's helpful, but like that's not their job. Like that's my job. So people don't need to worry. You can just walk up to for me anyway. You can just walk up to my table. I don't care how little you've done, little you know. There's nothing that you should be doing.
Interesting. I like that. You're also the first person to say the opposite of every other vendor has been. No, like I'm sure everyone works their own ways, but that's interesting. You're the first one I think to say, nope, come up with whatever.
No, doesn't. Well, I just like there's stuff that can be helpful, but nothing in terms of like. No, you're the paying customer. I'm the person who's taking your money, so it should be on me to sort you out.
There you go, Shane. Once you're good in the queue, you're fine otherwise. Conrad wants to know, do you collect anything other than Pokemon?
Yes. Oh God, we have a bit of a problem at the moment. We don't rip a lot of Pokemon. I think that's just, again, we have the vendor curse where once we started vending, we now pull nothing whenever we open stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, we have to, you know. But we've been ripping a lot of Lorcana, a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like it's kind of a problem right now. I think it's because, well, we're like, we like Disney. I don't like Disney as the company, obviously, but not obviously, but I don't like Disney as a company. But I like Disney, you know, like the characters and all that. So, yeah, like every bulk card, even I'm just a bit excited to get. Whereas with Pokemon, like I don't really get super excited by like the brand new Pokemon that is just like some random name that's, you know, on like, you know, I don't get excited by all of the bulk for Pokemon. You've heard it here first. But Lorcana, I like opening the packs. We were in Spain last week, and there's no Spanish Lorcana yet, so all of the Lorcana over there was English, and no one wanted it. So we were opening a lot. It's pretty bad. So we opened Disney like Topps Chrome as well. That's actually what we prefer opening, and we finally will have our first Lorcana binder at the event on Sunday.
Wow.
So yeah, that's exciting. But it's like that's more of just because it's like what we collect, you know, rather than like this is what we're moving into vending with. It's like no, it's just because we have a lot of cards. So yeah. That's what I prefer to rip.
Taking up space.
Yeah.
I actually opened at the weekend we were down with family. I opened some of the Disney Topps Chrome and the latest Lorcana set. Nothing crazy. Was hoping to get that some enchanted rare. I actually when Lorcana started, first chapter was the name of the first set. I pulled an enchanted rare Tinkerbell.
Did you sell it?
Yeah.
Silly.
I got it graded. I got a PSA 8.
Ugh.
Yeah. And
it's maybe good actually for I don't know. I actually don't know what the print quality is like.
I got really angry that it was an 8 and then sold it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
rage sell.
This is
Immediate rage sell.
Disgraceful. Yeah. I did keep a couple of boxes of first chapter, and then Rise of the Floodborn, I think was the second one.
Yeah.
And I offloaded them like I want to say 1.5 to 2 years after they came out. I sold them to another vendor.
Nice.
No names, but did well off them.
That's always bittersweet, isn't it?
Yes. We do have Bran. He's cooking them up soon. They'll be back soon, I'm sure. Ron's quick fire rounds.
Sorry, Bran. I'm slacking.
He's got too many kids. Okay, we have Glitch, Glitch. Starting off with vending, what's the best approach to build good stock? Similar to my question, but different. How do you go about building stock?
Like now, I don't really know now. To be honest, like the market is just so different.
Do what Olive did and rip thousands of packs.
Thousands of packs. Yeah, it's tough right now. Like I think right now, if you're someone who's like new to the scene and you're kind of just looking to pick, I would actually just recommend just trawling like eBay Vinted, like loads just Discords and just seeing if you can get good deals on stuff on bits. But like you're not going to be picking up collections at like, you know, small percentages, obviously, like in the market, like we buy most things at like 80%, 85% now, which just to make sure, well, one, people are getting fair prices, but also like there's obviously loads of people that people can sell stuff to, you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is like shop around, but you know, you're buying stuff fairly close to market anyway, if you're trying to build up a collection. Yeah.
Fair. Okay, there's a couple more questions in there. Let me see if I can grab one. Oh yeah, there was I was actually going to ask this near the start and I forgot about it. What card have you collected the most of? Because you did do a video one day where you said you do this crazy thing where you collect just multiples of the card that you like. Like I think the stained glass birds was one.
I have like stained glass birds, Hops Wooloo, the Slackoth on the grass, the Ditto, like the Nummel Ditto.
Yeah.
My God, there's more. The Doll of Full Art. I haven't put So the only ones I've put in a binder are the stained glass birds, and then the other ones I'm waiting to get binders for them. So they're just kind of in stacks, basically. I think it's probably the stained glass birds because we have a lot. I've got a lot of graded versions too. So I think I have probably like 40 of the stained glass birds, and that's across like raw. Yeah. Well, any we get sold to us, it's just put aside, So I have like half chewed ones that I still buy off people.
You say one.
Yeah. The one of them actually has teeth marks, which is kind of scary. So yeah. What did you say?
Maybe it was the birds.
Maybe. I hope it was the birds. But yeah, I think I have about like 35 of them, and then that's across like PSA 10s, and then other grading companies, and then raw versions like sealed or whatever. So probably that.
I wasn't.
What's your Grail card?
I'm not too. I don't know. Like, I think for me, it's less of like one card that's like the ultimate, and more of just I like what I like. I like what I liked, and like I think well, it's not a Grail, but we're collecting all the tag teams as well, in like near mint tag teams. We're almost there. I think I think we have only a few left. Nope. Tony had one, Poke Bundles, but and we were gonna get it off him, but it was a great price, but it was slightly below near mint, and it just didn't like. I just, as much as I would have liked it, like it was when we were basically doing a lot of the Covrd sort of capital. Getting money for Covrd so we can, and it just didn't really make sense. But so we kind of decided that because we're almost, we're collecting all the tag teams and we are almost there, that will be the last one we get. I think we're gonna have to get it from the States probably though. Like that's probably gonna have to be.
Yeah.
We'll head over there at some point. Yeah.
Love that card.
Mm-hmm.
Told you, go to the Irish card market, you'll get it.
I have one.
Oh, you got the Chinese one?
Actually. I have a Chinese one as well.
The Chinese.
No, cool. Yeah, I wish we had just gone the Chinese or Japanese route with them, but for some reason we went English, and the print quality is so much worse. So, yeah. But we're here now, so.
Yeah, you're nearly done.
Yeah.
May as well finish it.
We think we have 2 more questions, maybe. Sergeant CC, for someone who just got into collecting, how do you fight the urge to buy for profit and build a collection?
How do you fight the urge to buy for profit? What do
So
they?
build a collection, not to sell on. Is that what you mean?
Oh,
I think, like, are they meaning that they see how lucrative it can be, and that to just enjoy building a collection as opposed to offloading it? I think that's what they
fight the
mean.
urge. They mean like buy for profit and build a collection. Oh right, so they're saying like how do okay.
I think
like,
that really comes down to just what do you really want to do?
Yeah, like we vend and like we enjoy it, but like if we're doing it, if we had to pay to vend and there was no money coming out the other side, I probably wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? So like it just depends on the person. Like, and I collect, like we're still big collectors. We just we kind of just we separate it. So like I'm just kind of I'm not emotionally attached to any cards at all that we get in, other than the ones that we collect, really. And I think, are they on about kind of like the seal side, maybe?
I have a feeling, they might mean singles or sealed. I mean, I don't think it's, I think you could do both if you're able to keep them separate. Olive has just talked about
how do you fight the urge to buy a card, not to move on, and to actually just keep forever.
Right. So, well, it's just the cards that we like. Like, again, stained glass birds, if it comes in my way, it's going in my binder. Like, I'm never selling it. But I think I struggled with the opposite at the beginning, where I was like, I want to keep everything. But, like, it's just, it becomes, your brain it just starts to make sense, where, like, there'll be things that come your way, and you just know that you want to keep it, and then vice versa. And that's kind of how, like, we kind of pay ourselves almost from a lot of the vending, is, like, rather than taking a lot of money from it, we kind of pay ourselves with siphoning off some cards. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it just kind of it's like everyone's different though, so like there will be some people that they'll probably have nothing in their personal collection because they just like the flipping. But that's not us, obviously, as well. We like a balance of it all.
Perfect. We'll take one more, and then we're just gone over 2 hours, so we'll take one more. My best friend, who'll be on the table with me at the Irish Card Market, wants to know what tag teams are you missing.
I'm not the person to ask. It's Ollie. Ollie's got a list. I'm not. He's the type A out of the two of us. I'm the type B.
Fair.
So he has the list. Yeah, but I know the Lovebirds. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I know Andrew does not have the Lovebirds, but he can probably help you out with everything else.
Okay, that's cool.
Sweet. We'll probably leave it there then. We've taken 2 hours of Olive's time while there is a claim sale going on. Poor Ollie is.
Poor Ollie. Poor Ollie is in the trenches of our Instagram DMs.
We had suggested to Olive that we would turn the ongoing Instagram claim sale into a podcast live auction, but we thought that might get a little too mental. Well,
let Ollie deal with it. He'll be grand.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. So first of all, a big thank you to everybody in the chat, everybody who was viewing. A lot of great questions, a lot of fun comments. So I know we did miss quite a bit at the start, but I hope that you all put your questions in at the end and we got to them. So as always, thank you to all of you who are watching and got involved. It's very much appreciated. Big shout out to this guy. Big shout out to co-host Ron Collects. Appreciate having you on, man, as always.
As always, thank you.
And then, of course, to our guest. I don't know. I always look at the end, look up to. Big thank you, of course, to Olive of PokeOlive and Covrd. One of the biggest vendors. No, I won't do it. I won't do it to you again.
It's too late.
Olive, thank you so much for coming on. Really
thank
appreciate
you for having
me. That was so much fun. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, I so much. I didn't even get another tea halfway or anything. I was just in the zone. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Your internet didn't drop off either.
Well, yeah.
Wow. It's going to drop off now.
It's going to drop off after I said it.
Just immediately after, yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for having me. This is great.
Absolutely. A lot of kind words there coming in the chat. So yeah, big thanks to Olive in the chat, guys. It's been a pleasure. Other than that, Olive, if you want to hang on just for a second after in the room, we'll just do a quick catch up. But yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.